let's move on. One of the other subjects I want to talk about was some things that have been happening in the video game world.
Oh, we skipping over the Lightning?
Oh yeah, sorry, I skipped the NHL.
Skipping hockey, man. This one really doesn't care about hockey.
So yeah, to show how much I care about hockey, I just completely skipped it in my notes. The draft happened. I don't watch hockey at all. The only time I ever watch hockey is when the Rangers are in the playoffs.
And that's it. Once every 5 years.
And they had a good stretch there for a while, so I watched the playoffs for a little bit.
That was what, 5 years ago?
No, not that long. But hockey's just not my cup of tea. It's just not something I really got into.
Hockey Bay USA. Over here.
But I'm gonna let Fritz lead this conversation because he is our former season ticket holder. Used to go to a lot of games.
Now, hold on. Before
he is
Fritz
a huge
goes,
Lightning fan.
I have a question for him.
Okay, go ahead.
I want to see where he feels about this. I was at game 1 of that Columbus game, or that Columbus series, and I witnessed them blow that 3-0 lead 4-3. And I could tell right there that we were going to lose the series. I knew right away. I was like, they're done. That's it. I thought it was hilarious this week watching Kucherov walk away with 3 trophies, and then watching Vasilevsky get the best goalkeeper, and just realizing they did absolutely nothing in that series. They did nothing in the playoffs, and yet they're getting the President's Trophy. They're getting all these trophies. Congratulations on your great season. I just want to know if you agree with me. It means nothing. It means absolutely nothing.
No, it does.
So all those trophies are based on their performance in the regular season.
Yeah, that's great, but when you win 62 games, you got to win a game in the playoffs.
But that's a whole nother subject. But what they did in the regular season was remarkable, tying the Detroit Red Wings with the most points ever for a regular season. That is remarkable, and that should be awarded. The playoffs, however, obviously are a different story. Obviously, it was horrific.
Yep.
Horrific what happened. We just got bullied, physically, and I do think that the boys were tired. That is 62 games with those wins that you were on your absolute A game. Yep. And how many games you took to overtime, how many all of that plays a factor. And hockey is an abusive sport. There are hits in hockey that are sometimes worse than professional football. And it is absolutely insane. And then they may play the next night, may play a couple of nights from now. Hockey is an insane sport, and it tires out all those guys, which makes it even more remarkable with what the Blues did. But obviously we're talking about the Bolts.
Well, okay, so I wanted to make a comment on the Blues, because the Blues, they accomplished something amazing this season. I mean, any team that keeps Boston from winning the championship, that's a thumbs up in my book. But that's
not,
also they have
the accomplishment is not beating Boston. That's
no. The accomplishment is winning the Stanley Cup. But
yeah,
the thing is, hold on, Ben. Hold on. So, what I was going to get to is, yes, congratulations to the Blues. That's great. But this whole season, the only thing that mattered, they could have won. They are arguably one of the greatest teams ever assembled, and they blew it. They absolutely blew it. That's great. You know what? You guys had a great season. You tied the record with the Red Wings. You deserve all these trophies. But I don't want them to go, oh, yeah, we had a great year, pat on the back, participation trophy. You got swept out of the first round by a team that's never won a playoff series.
I think they're pissed off. I think they are absolutely pissed off.
You know how it feels to be a fan, because I'm very pissed off. We've been hearing for years how amazing they are, and they finally show how amazing they are, and they blow it. And not just in the finals, they blow it in round one. I don't care about the interviews. I just want to see them win. I don't care about the interviews.
Okay, Jake. Then if you don't care about the interviews, then you don't understand where their mentality is.
No, what their mentality is that they can't handle pressure and they just lose. That's all that matters. I don't care what they say in interviews. They're doing damage control. They know how bad this is. Guys,
no, they're not.
This is the worst. This is the worst collapse in modern sports. It's the worst. You lost to a team. You got swept by a team that's never won a playoff series by. First of all, they're being coached by your previous head coach. He just bullied you.
Sit there and say that. You can't sit there and say that right now.
Because they just wanted.
They swept two other teams. They swept another team, and then they took teams that they were never supposed to be able to compete against to 7 games, and they won the Stanley Cup. So I'm
talking about Columbus. I am not talking about St. Louis. St. Louis did not play the Lightning. Columbus did not win the Stanley Cup.
I'm talking about the Blues themselves were never supposed to be able to make it.
I'm not talking about the Blues. I'm talking about the Blue Jackets. The Blue Jackets is a team that the Lightning lost to, Ben.
I understand that.
So what point are you trying to make?
I'm trying to tell you. The Blues were never supposed to win anything past the first round of the of the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
Then they swept their next team.
They played Boston. They played Boston the next round and lost.
Well, Columbus. That was Columbus.
Columbus did.
Columbus played Boston the next round.
But Ben, St. Louis has nothing to do with this conversation. Yes, they won the Stanley Cup.
It has a lot to do with the conversation.
They did not play Tampa Bay. The point is, it's
I understand that.
The Lightning got swept by the Columbus.
Saying.
What are you trying? I don't understand.
Right. Here, as a non-hockey fan, let me throw this out here. As a non-hockey fan, the Tampa Bay Lightning were the most winningest team in regular season history of the NHL.
Thank you.
Winningest team ever. I'm talking about the Warriors winning 73 or whatever it was, being the best team ever during the regular season, and then getting swept in the first round of the playoffs. That is unacceptable. No matter who you are. You can argue the St. Louis Blues weren't supposed to win as much as they did.
I'm not
it's
saying
like
it's acceptable.
A 16 seed beating a 1 seed and then winning the tournament. Maybe not to that level.
Not to that level.
But the Lightning got swept after being the best regular season team ever.
They didn't just get swept. I mean, the whole point is they didn't just get swept. They got swept in the first round. They got swept against a team that's never won a playoff series, and that has nothing to do with the St. Louis Blues. That has nothing to do with the St. Louis Blues. That is the Columbus Blue Jackets and John Tortorella saying, hey, you guys you're not that good. You guys can't handle pressure. You know, the Lightning. Every advertisement was, "We know it means nothing. We're gonna get the President's Trophy. We're gonna get all these trophies. We know it means nothing." And then they go out there and they don't even win a game. I mean, that is embarrassing. I mean, I'm at a point now. It's like, yeah, that's great, Kucherov. You won these trophies. Yeah, I'm hoping you're mad. But you know what? It doesn't matter. You guys have made the playoffs how many years now? This was supposed to be the year. I'm at a point now where I just want to blow it up. Right? Just trade away the assets. Honestly, I don't. Maybe keep Kucherov. Maybe keep Stamkos and Vasilevsky. Get rid of everyone else. Blow it up. I'm tired. They're going to be great again next season. I guarantee you. They're going to have a winning record with this team, and then they're going to make it to the second, third round, and then lose again. They're going to get our hopes up. This team cannot win under pressure. It doesn't matter. They just lost to a team that's never won a playoff series.
You can't also sit there and tell a team, hey, you know, your two best scorers that have been through you basically every single game throughout the entire season, you got to win these games without them for 3-4 games.
Who are you talking about? Kucherov and Stamkos? They played.
No. Hedman, what do you call it? Kucherov was suspended for
Kucherov got suspended after a dirty hit, which he deserved. What I'm saying is, Ben, they're great players. They have no reason to not show up in the playoffs like they did. They consistently... You see how great they are.
No, I'm saying that there's no reason that they shouldn't, but Tampa Bay should not be getting ready to sell all the assets because they lost in the first round of the playoffs.
They just lose. They got swept.
That's why the Rays don't want to be in Tampa. That's exactly why.
No, it's because the owner's garbage.
Yeah, no, because the Tampa Bay audience is probably, when it comes to bad news, is worse than New York.
No. Hold on a second. No. You don't get to say that. That is not fair, all right? That's not fair. The Lightning fans have been very acceptable of losing this, okay? Because let me be very clear right now. If the New York Rangers, this is hypothetical, if they had tied the best record in hockey,
my God, do you know how much they'd be getting destroyed
in the first round by a team that's never won a playoff series? Are you telling me right now that those fans wouldn't be trying to burn the stadium down?
Look at Daniel Jones. The man got booed at practice.
He got booed at practice.
Like,
do not compare Tampa to New York.
Yeah,
it's not the same. We are very tame.
Can I finish my statement before you jump down my throat?
As long as you don't say anything stupid.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
we should move on because that's
a very bad comparison.
No, it's when you think about it, it's not.
It's okay. Ben is just showing his bias. He's supporting his home team. There's nothing wrong with that.
What I'm
Jake,
okay, so
what were you gonna say?
it's like saying then fine. It's like saying then that Dallas Cowboys win a Stanley Cup or
I would love to see the Cowboys win a Stanley Cup.
No, they win.
I watched Dak
Lombardi
Prescott
Trophy,
check someone against the wall,
and then they don't even make it into the playoffs next year. And then
it happens in football all the time, though.
It does.
Ben, it's different.
And you're saying
it's 82 games.
Because it's hockey. It's 4 games. It doesn't happen. This is the first time it's happened.
That's why it's a
big
deal.
That's why it's a big deal.
That's why it's a big deal, Ben. You're acting like,
I understand that.
No,
but
it's a big deal.
Yes, it's not going to be the next. It's not going to be the last time it happens. And that's where everybody needs to.
It's the first time it's happened.
Let's see about that.
Yeah,
right,
and I'm sorry that it happened to the Lightning, but everybody needs to take a chill pill. And they need to stop complaining about how we're the winningest team. Yes, I get we were. But when it comes to hockey, momentum is bigger in hockey than any other sport.
I agree with Ben on that point. Because you look at Columbus and how they played down the stretch. They needed to win.
They needed to win 10 out of 14 games to win. We locked up first place 2 months before playoffs even started, and then we still kept on winning. We should have never been playing at the level that we did for the last 2 months of the season. That's what I've been trying to say for months.
He took a very long trip to say that, but I mean, but I mean, you look at St. Louis. St. Louis is the exact same way. They were last place in January 2nd. You see all those famous bets of people putting down $100 or $1,000, which, by the way, is if you are a gambler and you put down $1,000 on a last place team.
Man, you got some cojones.
Yeah, my God! Like you're either an idiot, or you know something that everybody else didn't know.
Or you did it by accident.
It's rigged.
Oh, 100%.
It's all rigged. Confirmed NHL rigged.
It's St. Louis. St. Louis was 100% a momentum team, and they deserved that Stanley Cup win. Yes. And it was a great Stanley Cup Finals to watch. And I'll even say, well. Let's see, who was the Eastern Conference Final? It was Boston and
Carolina.
Who was the
Carolina?
It was Carolina. Watching Carolina, I completely forgot Carolina. Watching Carolina play was awesome. I think that just with the chaos of this playoffs, I think it was good for hockey.
It was.
Just to show the diversity and like all the I can't think of the word that I'm trying to think of. But it was really good just how evenly spread everything was. All the teams were. And then St. Louis coming out.
Isn't this the first time in NHL history that the number 1 seed from both sides got knocked out in the first round?
Probably.
I mean, it was the Lightning and the Flames. Calgary was the number 1
seed. Oh, yeah.
And they got knocked out. So the Lightning and the
they were almost swept. I think they only won 1.
Yeah, they won 1 game by a prayer and a hope in overtime, and the goal should have never counted.
It's just I understand what you guys are saying. I completely agree with you. Momentum definitely plays a big part of it, but at the same time, boys.
Yeah, Calgary won game 1.
boys, they were the best team in history.
Yeah.
They're getting all these trophies, and oh, you're so great. They couldn't even win a game. They couldn't even win a game.
That's sports.
That's sports.
Sports.
Let me tell you.
That's professional sports.
As a fan, that is unacceptable. That is embarrassing. They should not be celebrating right now. They should be angry. I hope they're angry, and I hope they prove me wrong next season and they finally win one. Because I am tired. For how many years now they've been relevant? They've been a playoff team.
They've been close.
They've been so close, and this was finally going to be the year, and this was the biggest disappointment that you could possibly... Like, hey, by the way, we made the playoffs as we tied the record, and we didn't win a game.
But you can't be sitting there saying that we need to sell all the assets. We need to sell everybody, get all of our money back.
No,
That's
I just said they need to keep Stamkos and Kucherov and Vasilevsky. But as far as I'm concerned, everyone else should be a tradable asset. You should start looking at possibilities because this team is clearly, as great as they are, they cannot handle pressure. They cannot handle the actual pressure of, hey, we need to win. Because every time it happens, it's like it's like how people talk about how Steph Curry can't take it to another level in the NBA Finals. And he finally did this year. He finally did. He finally did. But most of the time in the NBA Finals, the Warriors did not win because Steph Curry popped off. The Warriors won because they were a great team. But this year, he finally did it. The Lightning are in that situation, but as an entire team. We know how great you are. We know how good, you're an amazing group of players. Just for whatever reason, when it gets to playoff time, you choke. I don't think that's acceptable after how many years of them being good.
If you're trading some of these guys, who are you trading them for, and what are you getting in return?
I mean, they got a first-round pick and a third-round pick from someone who was their third, fourth-string center the other day. So they've proven that they know how to make roster moves. It's very possible. Now, I'm not saying that they should trade everybody. That's just me being an arrogant fan. But at the same time, it's just very frustrating to hear for years how this is the polar opposite of the Rays. The Rays are garbage. We know they're garbage, and they want to leave. Well, I mean, if you leave, it sucks. But I guess the Lightning have gone out of their way to done everything right, organization-wise. We have a great owner. We have a great general manager. We have a decent head coach. I don't want to call him great after what just happened, but they have all these great players. You have everything that you should have to win, and yet they still blow it. And I don't mean they just lose. They blow it.
But then, Jake, as a fan, you should not be saying, after your whole statement for the last minute, you should not be saying they need to trade everybody. I'm done with the team.
No, they need to trade away these. No, they do need to trade away some of these guys because they can't win in the playoffs.
No, they shouldn't. Because
I'll make this as my last point. I understand where Jake's coming from a leadership standpoint. I will continue to say John Cooper is a great coach because I do believe that. But there are some leagues that they heavily rely on the coaches and the managers and whatnot. I don't think hockey's one of them. I think that's the role of the captain. And I will say that I don't think Steven Stamkos, after that disaster, can be captain anymore. I think it has to move. I don't know if he's vocal enough. I don't know if he's.
I think it should go.
I think it's a psychological thing. It's a morale thing. I think it needs to move off of him. Now the question is where would I put it? I would probably either say McDonough or Hedman, and probably Hedman because of the tenure. But I don't even know how vocal Hedman is. So I mean, you could put it on McDonough because he's done it in New York. So that's my final thought on that. So.
All right. Well, we'll leave that conversation. That's a good way to end this.
Yes.
Lot of topic about the Lightning in our hockey section.
Listen, this is
hockey talk in the middle of June, boys.
Hockey talk in the middle of June. It's still relevant. Damn it.
It's real to me.
More than baseball. Let's go, Lightning.
Hey, we talked a lot about the Rays. We talked a lot about the Rays.
Before we move on, Fritz, did you hear about PK Subban yesterday?
Yeah. And I'll touch on that. I mean,
I don't know how I feel about that.
I think it's a great trade for Jersey, with the addition of Jack Hughes, who was number 1 overall pick in the draft. who is a United States boy, by the way. The U.S. Development Academy's just churning them out right now, and that's great for the popularity in hockey. But I think it's great for the sport, putting him in a metropolitan area. Nashville wanted to get rid of the contract. It's a $9 million a year contract,
that's what that was.
And New Jersey ate it all, and Nashville was willing to part ways with it. So I think it's a good trade. It makes him relevant, and you know what? I think it even keeps around Taylor Hall. So I think he's going into the last year of his deal, and they've got a lot of good pieces. So I expect to see some noise from the Jersey Devils in the Metropolitan Division.
And I also think that the Devils needed a face like that everybody knew, like Brodeur.
I don't think so. I think they were doing pretty good. And it's not Adam Hall. It's Taylor Hall. Taylor Hall is really becoming that face for the Devils. And if he re-signs, he'll be beloved. And they've got a couple of number 1 picks in there. And like I said, Jack Hughes coming in. He'll be a couple years from now, but with him, I think he's going to Boston College. But I think Taylor Hall is really becoming that. PK will definitely fit into that mold, and it won't just be on one guy for that.